Today we are going to discuss with the bearings. This is one of the module of the machine design. So, what is meant by bearings? As a final year mechanical student, you have any idea? Bearing normally you can understand that it's an essential part of almost all machines. So, what is the role of bearings? You can understand that this is only a supporting element. It has been given major importance in mechanical engineering because bearing without essential part means without bearing there are not many machines. So we basically the mechanical branch is playing with the machines. So that much importance is there, the component called bearings. So when it is supporting, actually it has to support some load also. In the coming slide we will see the type of load, type of contact, etc. So you take a steam engine, the size of the bearing will be too large. If you take a half HP centrifugal pump, the size of the bearing will be very less. Basically, as I told you, it is a supporting element for load. Definitely, there will be one rotating part and there will be one stationary part. Rotating part is not included under bearing. It is called a shaft, as you know. But the stationary part will be acting as bearing. So, according to the information, nothing to explain. You can clearly understand that bearing support the rotating shaft in the form of what? Bearing is a separately isolated body, stationary body, definitely. So you can assume that suppose unfortunately the stationary part called bearing touches with the rotating shaft, what will happen? You can understand, you can imagine. Slightly, if there is a possibility of touching with the bearing part with the shaft, rotating shaft, you can assume or you can imagine what will happen. At the same time, if you are designing the bearing with a clearance which is needed with the rotating shaft, again you have to imagine what will happen. So what I am telling is, there is no doubt that the stationary part called bearing and the rotating part called shaft should have a small clearance. And second point you have to keep it in mind is that clearance should be designed in such a way that it should reach an optimum condition in such a way that it should not touch together. At the same time, it should not be too large. Why? What happens if you are providing too large? What's the reason I am telling too large clearance is not permitted? When it is rotating with the support of bearings, due to some reasons, heat will be generated. That it is generated at the portion called clearance. In order to dissipate that heat, only we are providing some lubricants. When you are applying the lubricant, as I told you, if the optimum clearance value is too large, it will be practically difficult to apply that clearance. There are so many experiments and discussion held. What is the optimum condition of the clearance value? And a lot of research works are going on at the clearance between the bearing part called stationary and the rotating part called shaft. Because as you studied fluid mechanics, this lubricating oil will be having lubricating material will be having either liquid condition or semi-liquid conditions normally. Even solid lubricants are also available. So according to fluid mechanics theory, when it is a shaft is rotating with a high speed, there are all possibility to develop a lot of unwanted fluid mechanics processes. That's why if you search in the website for shaft and bearing, and with the if you apply the fluid mechanics theory also, you can find lot of beautiful photographs where your shaft is completely eroded. Say 10-year-old steam engine or 15-year-old locomotive engine, or say around 10 to 15 or 20-year-old some big machines. So this is a very interesting area, bearings, and the study and learning is very simple because the classification, understanding the geometrical figure, and finally the design of the bearing according to numerical calculation also are very simple. But the area under mechanical engineering, the bearing has a lot of scope and interest for those students who are interested for future studies. Because the reason is, even though it's simply a mechanical engineering problem, you can apply a lot of fluid mechanics theory in the under the clearance between bearing and shaft. Function. The main function of a rotating shaft is to transmit power from one end to the line to the other. It needs a good support to ensure stability and frictionless rotation. The support for the shaft is known as bearing. The shaft has a running fit in a bearing. All bearings are provided some lubrication in order to reduce friction between shaft and bearing. So this is another information. Bearing normally straightforward, if we say it is simply a support. At the same time, it is having a double rod in which such a way that it is dissipating heat from the clearance area to the outside portions. That's why we are recirculating the lubricant all the time. There will be a separate provision for lubricating oil. Running fit means there should be a scientific clearance between the journal and bearing. That for what we are normally mechanical engineers are doing is this fit will be selected from the machine design data book. Already based on a lot of experiments, we have already prepared the running fit and running clearance, and based on the clearance only any typical machine can operate. So if it's a small machine, the clearance will be selected from the data book. If it's a large machine, we are not proportionally changing the running clearance. There will be a standard data based on a lot of experiments. We are already written in the data book, the fit and clearance. Bearings are classified under two main categories: plain or slider bearing, in which the rotating shaft has a sliding contact with the bearing, which is held stationary. Due to large contact area, friction between mating parts is high, requiring greater lubrication. Second, rolling or anti-friction bearing. Due to less contact area, rolling friction is much lesser than the sliding friction. Hence, these bearings are known as anti-friction bearing. So, what we are getting the point is, based on the slide, plain or slider bearing is one developed bearing, and second on the rolling contact bearing, roller bearing. Even roller bearing also we can see two types of bearing. The figure is not available here. Rolling contact either in the form of roller, roller means cylinder, or in the form of ball. Basically, when you purchase some fan from the shop, whenever we are asking what is the type of bearing, according to my opinion, first we have to see the manual, what is the type of bearing in a bearing, a fan. Then only you will get more comfort from the invested money. Normally we are asking what is the price of the fan. That is not the correct procedure. We have to see what is the type of bearing they are using. Definitely the latest version of Crompton and all, they are using the latest technology only. But still some old fans are there. They are using the old theory. The slider contact, as you indicated in the figure, this is the slider, this is the journal part, and this is the inner part is a shaft part. Shaft is not indicated here. Sliding, rolling, the rotating slide, and here the roller. This is the roller elements included in the between the to stationary part. This is the where we are providing the shaft at the center. Always the shaft will be at the center. Here also you can see some bearings. You can select the cylindrical part also, cylindrical rolling element or simply ball element. Both are available. These are some photographs. Rolling or anti-friction bearing, same thing. Because you see here, this is the cylindrical. In this figure it is indicated. Whereas this also cylindrical. Whereas these are all for balls bearings. And these are the some other way of understanding the roller type of bearing, roller and cylindrical type of bearings. Load direction. When you consider a machine element, axial load and radial load are the type of distribution of load in the shaft. So normally when you think about the bearing, radial load is major and axial load is not at all affecting the bearing side, because that is treated in a separate way. Radial load is how much percentage we cannot tell. Maximum load, radial load will be distributed over the supporting side called bearing. And in that way, when you design roller or cylindrical or slider contact, etc., you have to see the conditions of size of the bearing according to the radial load conditions. These are all. This is not the figure for bearing. This is a turbine figure. So this is not coming under our discussion. Sliding contact bearing already I have shown in the previous slide. Nothing more here. This is a repeated figure. Classification of the sliding contact bearing. Journal bearing, you see I told you basically it's a very simple element. One rotating part and one supporting element. Here clearance is not shown, but the provision for lubricating oil is shown. This is a footstep bearing, another design. This is a collar thrust bearing. Collar means we will provide some collars with the shaft in order to provide for the convenience of lubricating oil as well as for the distribution of the support of the load. If you select one collar, single collar. If you select more collar, multi-collar. This is single collar system. This is multi-collar system. Journal bearing means rotating part. In this, the bearing pressure is exerted at the right angle to the axis of the shaft. The portion of the shaft lying within the bearing is known as journal. Shafts are generally made of mild steel. Shaft need not be made of mild steel. Shaft can be. There are a lot of other types of composition of shaft also. That is not important in our discussion. Journal bearing is a simple bearing type where it will be having a eccentric type of clearance. Eccentric means the clearance is not provided uniformly. One end the clearance will be very minimum, but at the other end the clearance value will be maximum. In that way, we will design and fabricate the stationary part called the supporting part and the other part shaft. Footstep of pivot bearing I already shown in the previous slide.